The hit series Squid Game just wrapped up a shocking Season 3 finale, and fans are already looking ahead. We're breaking down everything we know so far about a potential Season 4 or spin-off. From the Season 3 ending clues to what creators and fans are saying, let's figure it out. Season 3 ends with a jaw-dropping scene featuring the front man and a new recruiter in an unexpected location. After the brutal final game in Korea, the front man is now in Los Angeles. We recognize the city setting. He's literally in the US. When his car pauses by an alley and he hears the slap of the Dakshi game tiles. Investigating the noise, In-ho spots a blonde woman challenging a man to the same envelope-flipping game that first recruited Gi-hun. The camera reveals this woman to be Hollywood actress Cate Blanchett as the new recruiter. She makes direct eye contact with In-ho, a silent acknowledgement between them, before continuing to slap down the Dakshi tile. In-ho then turns away and leaves. This final scene means that the deadly competition is not over. Now the game is going international. Cate Blanchett, a two-time Oscar winner, shows how big this expansion could be, and it blurs the line between the Korean storyline and a potential Western edition. It's interesting to note that even the cast and crew kept this cameo extremely secret. In a post-finale interview, lead actor Lee Jung-jae admitted he was never told about Blanchett's involvement, and only found out later. Lee Byung-hun, who plays the front man, likewise said he didn't get to meet Cate on set. Their face-to-face moment was created through editing. Blanchett's scene was filmed separately, likely to prevent leaks. The producers clearly wanted the new recruiter reveal to be a huge surprise. And it worked. Fans online were stunned to see a Hollywood A-lister pop up in Squid Game. It's a testament to the show's global popularity that someone of Blanchett's caliber would make a cameo. Series creator Hwang Dong-hyuk had originally conceived Squid Game as a standalone story. In fact, after Season 1's massive success, he admitted he had no initial plans for a sequel. The follow-ups were developed only after the show became a global phenomenon. By the end of Season 3, it appears Hwang brought his core storyline to a close. Season 3 was marketed as the final chapter of Gi-hun's journey, and indeed it ends with Gi-hun's fate resolved, tragically, and the Korean game shut down. Hwang's tone in interviews points that he wanted to deliver a definitive ending. For example, actor Lee Jung-jae mentioned that the finale was something he never expected and that it left him awestruck and numb. The creative team deliberately went for a bold, dark ending to cap off the story. So far, Hwang Dong-hyuk has not announced a Season 4, given how Season 3 ended and the fact it was called the series finale in some coverage. However, Hwang did plant the seeds for the franchise to continue in another form. In short, Hwang's story is done, but he left the door open for others to continue the Squid Game universe. What does Netflix say? Officially, Netflix has been cautious about confirming anything. According to a Variety report, Netflix currently has no announced plans for a Squid Game spin-off or Season 4, at least not at the time of the Season 3 release. Behind the scenes, though, they are considering next steps for the IP. Netflix is absolutely interested in expanding Squid Game as a franchise, but they weren't ready to make a public announcement immediately during the Season 3 finale buzz. It's understandable. Season 3 literally just aired, and Netflix might be gauging fan reaction and working out logistics for the next installment. That said, industry rumors and reports fill in some blanks. Multiple sources have reported that a US-based spin-off series is in development, with acclaimed director David Fincher attached to produce it. Fincher has a partnership with Netflix, so his involvement in a Squid Game project isn't far-fetched. The Season 3 finale cameo practically serves as a backdoor pilot for this idea. Netflix hasn't officially confirmed Fincher's spin-off, but the inclusion of Cate Blanchett as a recruiter in Los Angeles is a major clue pointing to it. In other words, while Netflix executives say they are still mulling over the future, the show itself blatantly hints that Squid Game America is on the horizon. The American version might be even more aggressive, more chaotic. I wouldn't be surprised if weapons become a factor in later rounds, and I think the American contestants will have a very different mindset from what we saw in Korea. I believe Jun-ho, the detective, could become the new central character. He now has custody of Jun-hee's baby and the game's money, which puts him in a unique position. He might re-enter the story in America, not as a player, but maybe as someone trying to bring the system down from the outside. As for In-ho, the frontman, I'm convinced he'll be the link between the original games and this new chapter. Whether he continues running things behind the scenes or eventually clashes with the American organizers, I don't think we've seen the last of him. There's even a possibility that he takes a more direct role as someone who's now now shaping the rules in this new version. The new recruiter played by Cate Blanchett is also fascinating. I personally think she wasn't chosen randomly. My guess is that she might have been a VIP at some point, someone who enjoyed watching the games, and now she's stepped into a bigger role. Maybe she's even managing the entire US division. I've thought a lot about Gi-hun's daughter, Ga-young, who's now in Los Angeles. We know she received the prize money. She might not play a big role, but her location and connection to Gi-hun could matter in the next story. It wouldn't surprise me if the game somehow returned to her life, directly or indirectly. I know not everyone was satisfied with how Season 3 wrapped up. Some people might say it felt more like a setup than a real conclusion, but in my view, that was the point. The creators didn't want to close the book. They wanted to open a new one. Gi-hun's sacrifice wasn't the end of the Squid Game. It was the start of something even bigger, and the way the game is evolving, shifting across countries, reflects how deeply rooted it is in global systems of inequality. We'll see the American version in full force, with new arenas, new rules, and a new cast of players. Also, some familiar faces will return. In-ho, maybe Jun-ho, and possibly Ga-young in some unexpected way. I really hope they don't just focus on the spectacle. The social commentary is what made Squid Game powerful. If they explore American issues like student debt, medical bankruptcy, or homelessness, this next chapter could hit just as hard. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. If you really like my videos, please give it a thumbs up. And for more updates on Squid Game and other shows, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. We'll be following the developments of the next spin-off closely. Until the next game, stay safe.